Let's go, Falcons! This weekend's matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers is absolutely crucial for the Falcons. After two tough losses, it's not just about bouncing back into the win column. This game carries major playoff implications. Right now, Atlanta holds the keys to its postseason fate, but the margin for error is razor thin. The Falcons currently have a 78.1% chance of making the playoffs, sitting narrowly ahead in the NFC South. A victory on Sunday would boost those odds by 10%, strengthening our grip on the division. However, a loss would have the opposite effect, dropping our chances by the same percentage and giving Tampa Bay an opening to challenge us. The Buccaneers are hot on our heels, just one game back after a dominant performance against the Giants last week. The NFC South is shaping up to be a true battleground where every game counts. As The Athletic pointed out, the Falcons essentially need to win the NFC South to secure a playoff spot. This game against the Chargers is one of the toughest left on our schedule, so a win here would be a huge step toward claiming the division crown. But it's not just about our performance. Keep an eye on the Buccaneers versus Panthers game. If Tampa wins and we falter, their playoff chances could skyrocket by over 31%, making the division race even tighter. On the flip side, if the Panthers pull off a shocking upset, Tampa's chances would take a serious hit, leaving Atlanta firmly in control. Now let's talk roster moves. The Falcons are taking steps to strengthen their defense ahead of Sunday's showdown. In a bid to boost the pass rush, Atlanta has officially signed outside linebacker Deone Harris to the 53-man roster. Harris has already shown promise and could be a key factor in slowing down the Chargers' offense. This is the kind of game that defines a season. Let's rise up, Falcons fans. The stakes are high, and the time is now. Big moves and high stakes. This season, we've seen some serious action. With 97 defensive snaps, 3 tackles, and 1 pressure, it's clear the team is pushing for every edge as we gear up for the final 6 games. To make room for Harris, the Falcons made a tough decision to release Javon Gwynn, a former 7th-round pick who had mostly been playing on special teams. On top of that, the team signed kicker Riley Patterson to the practice squad. This move is a precaution for Young Hoku, who's listed as questionable for Sunday's game. It's clear that the front office isn't taking any chances with the playoffs so close. Every player, every roster spot needs to count. Sunday's game against the Chargers is huge. It's not just about momentum, but also about keeping our playoff dreams alive. The Chargers come into this matchup with a solid 7-4 record, but their defense has had some cracks recently, allowing over 25 points in back-to-back games. For Atlanta, the plan is simple. Score 25 points or more, and we win. The offense needs to shake off the struggles from the past 2 games and come out strong. Meanwhile, the defense, with players like Harris, must step up and shut down the Chargers' playmakers. How confident are you feeling about Sunday's game against the Chargers? Do you think the roster changes will give us the edge we need, or are there still gaps to fill? What's your take on the NFC South race? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The bye week couldn't have come at a better time for the Falcons, especially for quarterback Kirk Cousins. After tough losses to the Saints and Broncos, Cousins took some much-needed time off back home in Saginaw, Michigan. Kirk Cousins, preparing for a big comeback. Even while sitting around a bonfire, Kirk Cousins couldn't shake the thoughts of what went wrong in those recent losses. He's always been his own toughest critic. His mental focus is one of his strongest qualities, and he's consistently turned to the team's psychologist to stay sharp, whether things are going well or not. Quarterback is such a mental position, Cousins said. I've surrounded myself with people who help me stay steady, whether we're on top or facing challenges. It's all about staying consistent. Statistically, Cousins has had a strong season with over 2,800 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, and 2 NFC Offensive Player of the Week honors. But the last 2 games were a far cry from his usual performance. For the first time in his career, Cousins failed to throw a touchdown in back-to-back games. He was sacked 3 times, threw an interception, and posted a passer rating under 80 in both games. Now, after some time to recharge, Cousins is back to work, fully focused as the Falcons get ready to face the Los Angeles Chargers, whose defense is among the best in the league. Back at Flowery Branch, he's been all business, reviewing notes with offensive coordinator Zach Robinson and fine-tuning the offensive strategy. Head coach Raheem Morris couldn't be more impressed with Cousins' leadership. "Kirk is relentless," Morris said. He came back from the bye with detailed notes, ready to attack every part of the game plan. He holds himself and everyone around him accountable. The focus this week is on execution. The Falcons remain a top 10 offense in several important categories, but recent mistakes, like penalties, missed opportunities, and mental lapses, have thrown off their rhythm. Robinson shared his thoughts. "We've done some really good things this season, but it's time to tighten up. The Saints game was close. Time to bounce back and reclaim our edge against Denver. We just didn't finish. Things fell apart. But now, it's time to get back to what makes us successful." The Chargers' defense is no joke. They're ranked in the top 5 for points allowed, total yards, and red zone defense. But here's the silver lining. They've allowed 25 or more points in their last 2 games against high-powered offenses like Baltimore and Cincinnati. For the Falcons, the formula is clear. Score 25 points or more, and we win. Before Week 10, we hit that mark in 5 out of 7 games, often surpassing 30 points. The key now is rediscovering that form. Offensive coordinator Zach Robinson stressed the importance of execution. "It's an execution game. We've got to do our stuff better than they do theirs." The Saints game showed we can move the ball, but we didn't finish. Denver was a low point, but now it's all about bouncing back. Let's address the elephant in the room. These losses haven't just hurt our record, they've hurt our reputation. After starting 6-3 and leading the NFC South, the Falcons were on top. But 2 tough losses have made us the target of criticism, even mockery, from our division rivals. Who could forget Tyrann Mathieu's grin when he said, "The Falcons have been really good to me," or Baker Mayfield's confidence after our loss to Denver? It hurts, but this is our chance to flip the script. Despite the setbacks, we still control our playoff destiny. With a win over the Chargers, we can right the ship and reassert ourselves as NFC South leaders. A loss, however, opens the door for Tampa Bay and reignites the same old Falcons narrative. This game is about more than just a win. It's about momentum, confidence, and proving we belong in the postseason conversation. Can Kirk Cousins lead us to victory? Do you believe Kirk Cousins can bounce back and lead us to victory this Sunday? How confident are you in our offense against the Chargers' tough defense? Are you concerned about the NFC South race tightening up, or do you think we're still on the right path? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And as always, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive Falcons content. Let's rise up, get that win on Sunday, and remind the league who we are. Go Falcons!